that is the profit on the account. We're currently sitting at around $20,450 in profit on the 200k funded account. I received these account details just under 2 weeks ago, and I have been trading for around 5 days, but it was pretty much at break even. So I'm just going to go through the stats and show you this beautiful NFP trade which we actually had on this account yesterday. Yesterday was the 2nd of June 2023, and we entered post NFP. If you guys have seen the videos I've done before where I've traded NFP, I don't usually trade the actual impulse at the start. So as soon as the movement actually happened at 1:30 UK time, I usually wait for either the next candle or after the impulse has happened to then enter the trade and hopefully get into some positions. It was the same in this setup, and I did actually try to record a little bit of screen recording whilst I was actually entering the first couple of positions, and I'm just going to talk you through what actually happened with that trade and how we ended up making the profit. So if I actually go on my phone and load up the profit, you guys can see on that day we actually made $18,900. So there you go, those are the trades we actually had. So we had one loss for 2k and then 2 wins at just over $10,000. The account's obviously sitting at 220,000 or just over, because we did actually have a couple of nice trades before we actually got the NFP trade, so we were sitting at around 1% in profit anyway. So just going to take you through the trade and what happened. So firstly, you're going to go onto TradingView and show you the move. So a lot of the times when you're trading NFP, you will get this first move down. I did actually have a screenshot which I will get up. As you see here, I had a screenshot of what I was looking for to actually enter this trade. This was obviously taken at 12:29, so an hour before the NFP release actually happened, and this was what I was ideally looking for. You see the entry was at 1.25354. So if we look where that was, 354 would have just missed, but I adjusted my entry based on what was happening at the time, but it would have been like, if we just measure it, literally like half a pip or pretty much identical to the entry, depending on which broker and TradingView feed you're actually using. When I'm using True Forex funds, I know people have had issues with them recently and there's been some stuff going on, but I've always found they've had the tightest spreads. The accounts never seem to have slippage, or not bad slippage compared to a lot of other firms which I've actually had experiences with. And obviously I'm not sponsored by them, I'm not being paid or anything, I don't have affiliate links, but I just want to share why I use them and why I can actually get the really tight entries where a lot of people and a lot of brokers wouldn't actually tag you in, and you would just end up missing the trade. So what actually happened was I got into a position at around this level, and I think I had around 10 pips stop loss as always. And then when price was going up, ideally what you want to see is when you enter, price just melts straight away. That's obviously what we all want to see, but sometimes you get a bit of drawdown. So I entered here. This was after price had wicked down already and then gone back up. A lot of people, when price wicks down like this and starts going back up, they'll just start buying. Obviously you can make profit from the push up, but I think it's quite risky just to buy against the initial news move. People will often say, oh, if it sells at 130, that's then just going to buy. But that used to happen a lot before. Like I think like 2 years ago, 3 years ago when I was trading NFP, that's literally what I would do. And it would usually work. I did a lot of account flips doing that. I don't recommend doing that, but that's what I actually did. And I've kind of gone away from that sort of style of trading now. Now I just trade it based fully off technicals. So my technicals are actually telling me to sell here, and if it breaks above this level here, then I don't want to be in sales no longer. If it breaks out this whole area, then there's no point really selling, in my opinion. And that is why I was actually looking to sell down to this level here. So if we look in the screenshot, we're looking to sell once price is broken, retested in, and dropped down to this level here. Obviously it did drop down to this level here. We had multiple rejections around that area for about an hour, 2 hours, and then obviously it did break below eventually, like this. But I didn't hold to this full level. Main reason for this was I had a call with my accountant. The F1 practice session was about to start. I was running 20 grand in profit. It was a Friday, it was like, what time was it when I hit my take profit? It was around 4 p.m. on a Friday. I was running 10% in profit. I mean, I'm just going to take the profit. It's as simple as that. When you're trading around news times, you have just got to take your profits. Obviously, it's less secure. Obviously, when you have this high volatility, you have got to be careful, but just make sure you take your profits. So in the video, which I'll try to overlay on top of this if I can find it, we entered here. After price came back up, we dropped down, price came back up. It actually stopped out the original entry, but this was fine, because when price then reached our optimal entry, we then had 2 positions in the trade to then drop to the take profit. You guys know I like entering and scaling on winning positions, and this was kind of a similar thing to that. But I normally, what I'd do if this was a trade which wasn't to do with NFP, once we'd actually broken out and started dropping, I would look for a price to retest back in to then get another entry to then drop down to the original take profit. Then it would have been a nice trade. But because it's trading on a funded account, because it's trading late on a Friday, post NFP, it's very different trading style to what I'd normally do on, let's say, a Tuesday morning in London session on my main personal account or my low risk accounts. It's very, very different style of trading. It might be less risky, more risky, it depends on how you actually view it. So obviously we had this drop down, and then we did actually end up hitting the overall take profit. We closed at this level here. So we closed here for a 1 to 5. So each position was, 5%. So we made 10% profit, just over 10% on those trades. Because of the loser, we lost 1%. So we only made 9% that day, which is obviously very, very good. And we ended up making just over $18,000 in a single day. But the account's up 20K. So this week we did make 20K on the account. I did actually connect it to a WillssFX book as well, so you guys can see that. We're up 4%, down, up, and this is where we're going to stop. Very, very nice. You see, we love to see that sort of upwards trajectory. Because we did trade it last month and it's only just gone into June, we technically made 5% and then 4.5%. But yeah, I'm not really too fussed about the stats like this on a funded account. I'm more focused on it on personal accounts because I don't have the same scale-ins. I don't trade the same like setup style. I trade a lot more risky on these funded accounts because it's not my own money. If it was my own money, I'd be a lot more particular with the setups I'm actually taking. I don't want to be taking setups which don't have, let's say 4 out of 5 confluences, and instead maybe 2 or 3 I'll take on a funded account. It's not my own money. If I lose the account, it doesn't really matter. You're only losing like 500, £1,000 or something like that. If you get a payout, you get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K, up to multiple 6 figures. So the ROI on funded accounts is just insane compared to, a personal trading account. If we go into the TFF stats here, you guys see I can refresh it and it's exactly the same. You can see here the profit's gone up. We can't actually get the profit split yet because we're waiting till the 6th of June, which is in 3 days. So on Tuesday, I will be able to show you guys the profit split, but I'm going to upload this video hopefully on the Sunday. So if you guys want to see the screenshot of the actual profit split going through to prove it's all legit, then be sure to go follow my Instagram. Follow the right Instagram, don't get scammed. There'll be a link down below or it's on the screen here. You guys can go check that out. Do not get scammed. I'll never message you first. I'll never follow you. Just beware, we have a lot of scammers out there. So you guys can see we've made profit on this one. Average win is a lot bigger than the average loss. Best trade, a lot bigger than the worst trade. These are all things which we love to see. Obviously the win rate is not massive, but it doesn't really matter because of the average win compared to the average loss. The risk to reward, it's very, very good. And obviously we've only traded GU, so that is 100% of the trades are on GU, and which means 20K out of the 20K profit is all based on GU as well. Surprisingly, long positions have made more than short positions. Usually it's the other way around for my personal accounts, but I guess it was because it's a news trade. Even though the news trade I feel like made the most profit, we obviously made profit on the other positions as well. I hope you guys did enjoy this little breakdown of the funded account. If I show you the whole account history, you guys can see that we have taken a few trades, but we ended with some nice profit, 20K, and it obviously will say Demo, people will comment, oh, what's a demo account, whatever. But all funded accounts are demos. People don't really seem to understand this. A lot of people comment with comments about it being a demo or it being a fake account, but why would a prop firm give someone a real live account with $200,000 in when they've just passed a challenge in 10 days? Would they really risk $200,000 on that? No, that would be absolutely stupid. Prop firms simply just pay out from failed challenges. So let's say 90% of people fail, they're each paying £1,000 each. You do the maths based on how many people sign up, they're making a lot of money. So from those failed payouts, they just pay the tiny percent of successful traders which actually get payouts, like myself. So if you're a losing trader, thank you for paying my paycheck. And if you want to learn how to trade, check out my mentorship in the description. See you guys in the next video.